Hi friends, I'm about to try something very different for me today. All of my carvings have really just been kind of freestyle, meaning that I'm not really going from a photograph. I say that knowing that I have in the past carved an eagle head and a wolf head, and I've used photos, but I've used multiple different photos and incorporated different things from all of those. So I wasn't trying to replicate an exact image. Today, I'm going to go ahead and try to do just that. I am going to attempt to carve something in the round. It is a much larger chunk of sycamore than I usually do. This one's probably 5 inches across, and I'm usually doing 2.5 to 3 inch across pieces. I really would have liked to have a larger piece to do this with, just so I can get some better detail in here. I'm going to be doing a carving in the round of a place that I used to go to when I was a kid. It's called Lanterman's Mill. It is in Mill Creek Park in Youngstown, Ohio. And that's what we're going to try to do. So let me show you a couple of things here. So what I've done, I'm going to go ahead and pop up a photo of what this mill looks like. I will be showing you basically just one side of it now, and it's really the most popular side that you'll see if you see photos of this. If you search Lanterman's Mill on the internet, this is typically the side you're going to see when looking for this picture. I did download photos of all 4 sides of it, best I can do, and one shot that's as close to aerial as I can get of this thing, so that I know what the surrounding area looks like. And then what I've done here is, this is going to be the top of the log that I'm using, the round, as it were, and I've kind of sketched out the location of where the building is, the mill itself. This will be the walkway in that mill. This is the upper falls. This is a lower stone fall that is just above these upper falls. And then this is the lower falls. And what I mean by these two items, just these are my terminology, not there. This is going to be the lowest point on my carving. This will be a medium point, and this is going to be the highest point. This is indicating that it's a hill coming down. So there's a slope starting up here, and it's going to slope down. This is going to be the main level of the ground, and that will slowly slope as it goes around to this lower stone. It's a dam, but it's a much lower dam on this. This is really a waterfall. This is the dam. And then what I've done is I've drawn myself a side view of the side of basically a view looking at this. So this will be, so I know how deep to cut. So this, of course, will be the top of the round. This is going to be the main level of the ground. This will be where the lower stone dam is. This part's going to be the upper river. This is the lower level of the river down here. And of course, this is the very bottom, the base. So this is what I've done in preparation to get this thing started. Now, again, you're coming along for the ride on this one, because honestly, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Because as I've said in the past, when I'm doing carvings, they're fairy tale stuff. They're gnome homes. Nobody knows what it looks like. It's just in my head, and that can change as I'm carving. So this is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for me. You guys get to come along for the ride and see how we do on this. Should be fun. Let's get started. Well, here I go. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some lines on the top based on my drawing here. I have to first determine, really based on what kind of issues I'm going to have in here. Like, I've got a knot. I really don't want that to be in there. There's a little bit of a knot down near the bottom there, but that's not going to be of any concern, really. So I do need to be careful with this area. So I have to figure out where I want that placed. And looking here, this lower falls, most of this knot would be removed. So I think that's the way I'm going to have this, like this. So let's go ahead and I'm going to put in the building. This will be there's a little bit of a V-shape dam right here. The falls come about halfway to the building. So that's where my waterfalls are going to be. This is going to be my lowest point right here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that first. Anytime we're doing stuff like this, we want to be super careful on not cutting into where this building is going to be. We want to also be careful of not cutting too low and not being able to, I can't have, when I cut this out, I got to be careful not to go the same distance down on here, around here, because this all has to be three-dimensional land. So we're looking at this in 3 dimensions, and it does make things a little more difficult for us. So let me get my favorite tool here, and I'll be right back. Obviously, time for a new blade. All right, let me say this. I've, I've gotten the building where I'm comfortable with, but I'm going to tell you something. I thought that oscillating tool was going to be so much easier than using that cutoff wheel that I typically use. The problem with it is it's not easy to handle. It's huge, and I am just so afraid I'm going to cut into the wrong spot on here. There's the mill, basement of the mill. We have the waterfall, a little bit of a rock outcropping right here. This is going to be all of the loose rock that are down along in this corner. The river will continue over here. It's also right back into here. This is a low dam, and the river comes back in around here and back around this way, and then narrows its way through to come through here. Main entrance to the mill right on this side, and then there's another entrance back here. All right, see if I can start shaping some things up. I'm going to show you some images that I'm going by. I didn't show them at the beginning. I did show you a picture of what this mill looks like, but I want to show you what I'm using to constantly reference as I'm carving. So as I go, I'll stop and I'll double check my reference images, and I'll kind of make little measurements and make sure I'm at least close. I'm not going to go for perfect, accurate realism here, but I do want to make this look as good as I can and get it as close to what this place actually looks like, at least to give you the feeling of what it looks like. So let me show you that. So these are the images that I'm kind of looking at as we move along on this one. So I'm referencing all of these. I've got 4 images on this one. I printed it in black and white as well. You can print this in black and white or color, whatever. This one is the main image I use. It's one of the most iconic shots of this place. It's, again, Lanterman's Mill at Mill Creek Park. If you were to search that, chances are this image is going to pop up. This would be the entrance portion of the building, and then this is one of the other views as well. Let me show you something too. One thing that's very difficult to find is the back end of that building, which is on this side over here, around this back side. There aren't many pictures of that, and it's just typically hardly anybody ever takes a picture of that side. And one of the big reasons probably is because of the main street that's up here. You can see this bridge in the background. A lot of people will stand on that bridge, and that's how they get this beautiful view here. And again, this one down here. So this is my reference sheet. This is what I go by. So here we have, I did put some windows and stuff on here, but those are gonna be going away shortly because I have to go in here and smooth things out. I've noticed once I started looking at this side's too wide. We're a little bit off over here. It kind of curves out. So I want to straighten all that good stuff up before I get moving on here. So be right back. I'm about to do something that I really don't like to do, and I don't truly recommend, but I don't have any way around it. I need this bit to reach further down on here, and or at least halfway in. So I'm going to pull it out some, and I like keeping them as much down in on the base of the bit into the tool itself, just for stability and just to make sure it doesn't come flying off, because these do come out. If you've watched one of my other videos, you saw that happen to me. So I just have to be a little careful here, but I do need to pull this out further. I want to kind of do the building first. I want to get the building done and the way I like it, because I may have to start taking things away from the building in order to get to where I need it to be. And if I do the landscaping around it and the ground around it, and then do the building and it gets smaller, I may have to redo that landscape. So landscaping's last. It's going to be a little easier to do because it's a little more forgiving to be able to do that kind of stuff. The building is going to be the toughest part of this whole thing. So let me get you going. We'll turn this camera around and start carving on this part. already see a problem. I'm sure you guys do too. Well, you know what? I am not going to be able to fix that. Should have looked a little more closely here. That's all right. This top row of windows isn't going to be exact as to where they are on the original building. As you can see, if we come across this line here, the bottom of these windows right here should be here. These windows should be up higher, but I just can't do that at this point. It's not going to work. And then we have these two windows. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm going to interrupt the carving here for just a second. I did a couple of things off camera. I'm not even sure if it's noticeable or not, but what I did is I've shortened the mill itself. I've lowered it by maybe a quarter of an inch, so it's not as tall as it was. After looking at it and comparing it to photos, it felt like it was too tall and too thin, and I still feel that it may be a little too thin, but I don't want to go too much smaller or lower with the roof because I'm afraid that I'm going to just get to this point where it's too tiny to do anything. It's already going to be very difficult for me to do these windows. I'm sure you can see that, but that's what we're about to try right now. So I will show you once this is complete what I'm wearing. You probably have seen a photo of me in these. They're magnifying glasses for close-up work, and they are wonderful. This will truly test your patience. Well, I'm very happy with the way that turned out, considering the way I started. As promised, this is what I was wearing. These things are absolutely fantastic. They make you look like a fool, but I can see everything I need to see. They're wonderful. I think they were like $17 on Amazon. I'll try to find the link and I'll put it down below. Well worth the money, especially if you're doing some small detail work like we're doing here. Took some time getting that detail in there. That actually took about an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and I believe I'm going to start over here today. As I stated before, there's a lot of windows on here. I mean, there's 8 alone on this side, and that doesn't include the base. There's some down here. There's also some down here, and then again, this side and this side. So there's quite a few windows, and I'm not going to show, as I stated before, I'm not going to show every single window being done. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm kind of looking at this corner as I come around, and I'm trying to make sure the bottom of this window and the top of this window match with these on this side. Once I have that established, then I can start moving my way across and make sure those all line up as well. Well, we now have 2 sides complete. I have not done a sanding on this, nor have I gone in and cleaned up the windows like I did on this side. I'm going to go ahead and move on, I believe, to the front of the building now, and then finally the back. Actually, I think I'm going to do this one first, just because it's smaller, and after doing this one, give my hands a rest a little bit here. So we'll go ahead and get started on that one now. I'm very glad I double checked. I went online to look up some photos. The photo I have, there aren't too many images of this side of the mill. You've got quite a few that you'll see this side, but nothing. Well, I shouldn't say nothing. Very few of this. And the one photo I had has a group of people standing in front of it, and for some reason I thought this was a doorway here beside this door. Wasn't sure why that was, but I just was assuming. But what it is it's actually a newer window was put in here, so it doesn't match the rest of these, so it looked more like a door. So I'm going to go ahead and put the original window back in that probably was there, I'm guessing. I just like that look better. So that. Hello, everyone. It's getting a little bit warmer outside. Today is the first day out here in my shop that I don't need to have the heaters on. As a matter of fact, I actually have my garage door open, let some air come in, and I've got one of my fans. I'm getting ready to turn that on here shortly. Once it gets a little bit warmer, it's early. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet at this time. At least for me. I don't know what time it is for you guys, but not even 8 here. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself started on the next part of this. I'm going to start on the lower half of this mill where the stonework is. We're going to go ahead and start down here. Put in some more windows, I guess, on that side, and then we'll start with the stonework. And then last thing we'll have to do is all the landscaping around it. Get that waterfall in, get the rocks around the river in, and I may even put some trees around it. So we'll see what we do. All right, let's get moving. Okay, I feel like I have that one down pretty good. I like that. That lower half with the brick, I do want to clean up my windows just a little bit more. So the two larger lower portions of stonework are complete, and I am more than happy with that look. I do need to now, I'm going to come around and do underneath. There's some stonework, some stone right down below here, and a little bit here. It'll continue around this way. And I may even do something with the roof so that the building is completely finished, just like I said. And then we can move on to our landscaping. Beautiful. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start work on the front part of this building. Get this thing done. Get some, I don't mean get it done. I just mean get the brick down here done. Get the steps coming up. This will look very different than a lot of photos that you see because there is a deck that's been put on in the front. I'm not doing the deck. There's also a brick walkway that goes here, but that's not original to the building, so that's not going to be there. It's just going to be a couple of steps coming up to that doorway. Okay, let's go. So there's a little retaining wall that goes in the front here to hold up the soil back here. That's in the front by the front door, and it goes down pretty low over here. So I did put that in. I do have the front done, and the top of the retaining wall is complete. I'm going to have to do some thinking on how to get up into here because I am having some problems with my bits not reaching because the depth. And I'm also having that same issue on this side over here, getting in this way. It's a little difficult to get across there, but I'll figure that out. I'm not worried at all. So I'm going to go ahead and let's take a look at this side so I can get down here done and see what I need to do to complete that back side. Beautiful. So this side's going to be a lot of guesswork. I do know that this upper dam that we see right here does direct the water as it's coming in this way from the river. It's coming in here, but the dam directs water this way, and it goes into the mill here somewhere. So in here is some sort of hole. I'm guessing a pipe of some sort, or even just an opening in the mill. And that's really all I'm going to put in there for now, is just some sort of opening, because the water will go into here in the mill. The wheel is probably situated right about in this location here. And then the water also, any of the excess water, there's a pipe right here where it comes out. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to do here. It's all just guesswork. We're going to go ahead and start doing some landscaping on this little guy. I've been kind of studying the stuff on here a little bit, looking at my pictures. Hopefully I'm getting this right. Landscaping, the ground and all the rocks and all of that. The most important thing for me was this building, making sure it truly represented the look I wanted it to. And I feel that it does. I am now going to go ahead and do the landscaping. And as I started to say, it's not as, I don't want to say as important, but it doesn't have to exactly replicate the landscape around it. You're going to get the general idea. I want it to be as close as I can to what it really looks like, but I'm not going to stress as much as I was on the building. So, and even that was minimal. So, but all right, here we go. Let's get moving. So there's an overhang here. This will be a waterfall coming down here. There's a little bit of a pipe showing that comes out here. This is where it comes out of the building. I'm not sure exactly where, but it does. The waterfall is going to come down here. This is mostly just like shale and rock and that sort of stuff underneath here. It's in a lot of the photos, it's pretty difficult to see what's down there. I can only guess that it is just more of the same rocky outcroppings that you see in the rest of it here. This is kind of like the just a pile of rocks and what have you down at the bottom that have all just been carried by this. The stream comes, or the river continues to come along here, and then we just go back up into here, and this is mostly a grassy area. So I'm really just going to get this smoothed out, make it kind of look nice, and then I'll probably put some I have some like railroad grasses and shrubs and that sort of stuff, and I'm going to go ahead and probably just put those on there just to give it more of a realistic look. Pretty happy with the rock down here at the bottom, the one underneath here, up on top, got this little bit of a shoreline. So this will all be water. I'm not sure how I want this to pour down because not all the pictures are different. Some show it with quite a bit of water coming over the waterfall, and some show it maybe in a drier season where there's nothing coming out of that. I do want to have it with a lot, so I need to really look over those photos a little bit more, see what I can come up with, just to kind of get a nice cross piece in there. I do need to stop for a little bit here. My hands are starting to really die on me, especially like right up in here from holding that. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for a minute. You're going to see it right back on here once I come right on back. Thanks. I'm hoping that you can see in here that I've got some rock in here. Now I've looked at a ton of different pictures. There's all different versions of what this looks like. There's some where everything is just lush and green in here, and there's stuff growing, and there's others where this water's coming down. This is here. This is mostly just wet rock. So I'm just making it up as I go, really. I can't find anything of what this looks like. I can't tell if this is the same. I'm probably going to make this the same depth as this side, so it's the waterfalls coming down. There won't be this lump sticking out here. I do want to go ahead and put some more brick in down here since I've opened this up some. I didn't have the waterfall deep enough so that it came down here. So I'm going to touch all that up, get that in here. This is going to be painted like a brownish green, and then I'm going to add some foliage to it right on here. So this is kind of done. I'm sort of done in here, just a couple of small minor details. I've got to take this down. A little bit more work up here. This is like a green space, for lack of a better term. It's got some shrubbery and weeds and what have you on it there. I'm still trying to locate imagery of this back section. I'm just not finding it, so it's just going to end up looking the same as this. I'm just going to make up what I think it should look like. Same as on the side over here. I am going to put a little path that comes out from here, a little stone path that'll come around, meet up with this one. This will come out, and I'm going to have it come up this way. I know for a fact now that this is where the trailhead comes in from Mill Creek Park itself. It comes this way. I'm not sure exactly how originally they got to this. I don't remember if there's a service drive that comes in this direction or not. I just don't remember. So the pathway is going to go this way, connect here, and then come around to this side. And that'll be done with this. Then this will just be green space as well. And then we'll get into the staining, the painting. So by the time we are at the end of this video, we'll at least have the stain on here, at the very least. All right. So I've got the back part of the bank done. I have the whole entrance going into the mill. That's where it's going to come out. It's going to meet back up down here. So really, all we have left to do right now are the pathways. And I'm going to go ahead and put those in right now. Pencil those in. Going to make a step right there. Well, everybody, I have finished what I'm going to finish for the landscaping, for everything around this building. I'm going to take my little flap sander. I'm going to smooth out a lot of the lines. I'm going to take a look at this stream, this river. I'm going to put some high gloss stuff on this so that it looks like water, but I want to put I want to see where I need to put ripples and that sort of stuff, because I've got to build those into the wood. And then I've got to figure out how I want to paint the base before I put that coating over top of it, so that it does in fact look like a stream. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and start flap disking. All right, so now I am going to pause for a moment. I'm going to try to see what I can find as far as what this river would look like. So if I need to put any sort of contours or something in there, I can do it. I want to make sure that I'm getting this to look as close to a riverbed or a river as possible before I put the gloss stuff on there. So, all right. So I'm going to cover this with just some Danish oil, the natural. I'm going to do that. And we're going to just let this all dry. Once it all gets worked in. And then once it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and we'll do some color on here. Now, again, like I always say, I'm not putting the color on really hopefully to change anything. I'm just trying to enhance the carving. You want to let the carving do the speaking for you. Don't, the color's just there as a side actor, so to speak. It's not really what your carving is about. And yes, I do see that my bark is separating. I will deal with this little bit of an issue later. I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. Even if it does all come off, I can just glue it all back together. Great use for an old toothbrush. Work this stuff in. I did try to sop up as much of the excess as I can. What do you think? I'm wondering. Do we want to paint it or not? We shall see. Yay! We have this Lanterman's mill. I have completed the carving, so all carving on this is now finished. Got walkways, we've got the waterfall, everything is there. The back of the building, little entrance going in there. I kind of have my mind set that I am going to paint it very lightly, but I'm not going to do that today because I may want to change my mind. I don't want to have to go back into this and sand all the paint off if I don't like it. And again, it's just going to be a little bit of touch up on there. It's not really going to be, heavy duty painting. It's just so that it gives things a little bit of a highlight, a little bit of the color to the mill, a little bit of color to the water and rocks. And I do have, let me see if I can find it here. So I have this kind of stuff that I can easily add to it. And I've got it in many different colors. It's for model railroading or other miniature model making, I guess. And I was planning on putting some of that on as very lightly as shrubs. And I have some of the stuff that looks kind of like grass and dirt and what have you. So I was going to put all of that stuff in here just to give this a more realistic look. But I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. So thank you again for watching this week's episode on this one. I do appreciate it. And I think I have what my next project will be. Onward and upward. Thank you all. Have a great day.